delighted to join the board and was sworn in by Mayor Rosworski last week. So welcome, Matt, to our board. But with John's retirement, you'll need to now nominate and elect a new board secretary. And then the second item that you'll need to do is with Carlin's retirement in April, you will now need to elect Jenny Spencer as the new recording secretary, and each of those will be a separate motion. So your first one should be to nominate and elect a new board secretary.
Okay, I need a nomination for board secretary.
I'll nominate Matt Metzger to be board secretary.
So I have a second. Got the second there, Dave, did you? Oh, excuse me. You need to be a roll call vote. No, if we got a motion and a second, any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the question then.
All right, Miss Corey.
Yes.
Mr. Mecklenburg.
Aye.
Mr. Metzger.
Yes.
Mr. Denny.
Yes. Okay. Matt, welcome, and thank you for volunteering right off the bat. You have a recording secretary, so you don't have to take real good notes, but we are very, very pleased to have you on our board now and excited about it. And I think you'll find it very rewarding, and we look forward to serving with you.
Thank you very much. Happy to be part of the board. I didn't think in 4 minutes to move this fast, but very, very happy to be nominated for a role already. So thank you. I'm glad to be part of the board.
They didn't tell you that that's a 1.5-year term now, just about. All these are 2-year terms. So, and so we go from there. Yeah. The next thing is that we need to welcome Jenny Spencer, and need a nomination a second to make her our recording secretary.
I nominate her. I nominate her. Stuttering right now.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other nominations or discussions? Hearing none, I call for the question.
Miss Corey.
Aye.
Mr. Mecklenburg.
Aye.
Mr. Metzger.
Aye.
And Mr. Denny.
Aye. Congratulations, Jenny. Okay, next thing on our agenda will be approval of minutes of April 20th, 2020 of the regular park board meeting. Do I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Have any discussion? Hearing no questions or discussion, I call for the question then.
Miss Corey.
Aye.
Mr. Mecklenburg.
Aye.
Mr. Metzger.
Aye.
And Mr. Denny.
Aye. Next thing on our agenda then would be approval of claims. We have approval of general fund claims in the amount of $17,161.44 and non-reverting fund claims in the amount of $6,130.35 for a total of $23,291.79. Do I have a motion for the approval of the claims?
So moved. Very nice job. Your wife will be proud of you.
Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay. Any questions on the claims or discussions on any items there? Hearing none, call for the question then, John.
Miss Corey.
Aye.
Mr. Mecklenburg.
Aye.
Mr. Metzger.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye. Claudine, that brings us to the superintendent's report.
Okay, well, our first item on our report is with the retirement of Tom Rankin, that Kurt Wolf has been promoted to the Director of Safety and Security position. And we will subsequently be posting Kurt's vacant position or former position in the coming weeks. So we're very excited to have Kurt in this position and wish Tom well. And then our next item on our agenda is with Carlin's retirement last month. We've hired Jenny Spencer. Obviously, you've accepted her as your recording secretary. So I'd like to give Jenny the floor and she can tell you a little bit about herself.
My name is Jenny Spencer. I grew up in Northeast Indiana, and actually Carla and I went to the same high school a few years apart. That was interesting during the process when I was first meeting her. I went to Purdue a long time ago and met my husband here and stayed after I graduated from Purdue with a degree in communications. We've got 4 boys. My youngest is the same age as Matt's oldest, so we overlap a lot of school activities, and they're busy and get lots of use of the park. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, welcome, Jenny. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
So Jenny, I have to ask, if you don't mind saying, when were you at Purdue? I'm wondering if I had you as a student.
I graduated in '97 from Purdue.
Oh, boy, by about 1 year. I was teaching Com 114 in 95, 96, and through and years after that. So, well, welcome to the board.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jenny. Now we will get to hear from John. He's going to provide us with a Loeb Stadium project update.
Well, the project, the construction at Loeb Stadium continues to move right along. They are now working, looks like the walls around the home locker rooms are up. Now they're working inside of it. I was just over there a little bit ago watching. The work on the batting cages along Main Street also continues. The key part that they're working on now is the first base concession side. I know that's a key step in this project. That's where the permanent power to Loeb Stadium comes in, is in that first base concession building. And once they are able to get that constructed and up and running, they can switch over from temporary power to permanent power. That was originally scheduled to happen sometime this month. That will probably be pushed back a little bit with the 3-week delay we had in construction. And we'll start to see pieces of the prefab concrete begin to arrive. But as you drive by the stadium, you can see the, more of the masonry going up. The outfield wall, now they are almost all the way to center field along getting that outfield wall ready to get set and poured there. So you can start to see the outfield begin to take shape from left field on towards center field, or right field towards center field, I should say. Yeah.
It really looks great. And I had the opportunity to visit with Tom over at the Frozen Custard earlier today. And he said he loves having a front row seat to all that construction. So, did anybody have any questions for John with regards to Loeb Stadium? Okay. So the next item is the Penguin exhibit, and that exhibit is just about finished. The contractor is working on the punch list right now. If you've driven by recently, you'll see sod outside, and our team's working on the landscaping as well. And now we kind of are in a holding pattern on our permit. We need to have a permit granted through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We did apply for that permit last year as instructed, and there have been some delays, of course, with regards to the pandemic, which has delayed our process. So we're waiting patiently for the granting of that permit, which should be coming in the coming weeks, and then hopefully we'll be able to bring some penguins in. Very exciting. The exhibit looks great. The next item is Memorial Island, the dredging portion of the Memorial Island project. Our low bidder was Merrill Brothers, which is a company out of Kokomo, and the contract was awarded through Board of Works. We do have a pre-construction meeting scheduled with them this week, and we'll have a better understanding of their timeline and their specific milestones as we meet with them. And I will pass that information along. Again, just to kind of recap what they're going to do is they're going to alternate the draining of the lagoon so that they can move as much of the aquatic wildlife to one section, the water, while they work on the other section, and they'll actually be draining it and cleaning it out. And I've been told that they've done this all over the state, and that it really isn't as smelly of a process as one would think. So we'll wait to see, but we're just really excited to have that lagoon cleaned out. Their final completion date is September 1st, so they'll be working on that all summer long. So should be kind of exciting to see what kinds of things have made their way to the bottom of the lagoon over the years. The carousel construction project, Morgan Constructors was the low bidder, and the contract was awarded through Board of Works. We did have a pre-construction meeting with them already, and they're actually mobilizing on site this week. And I wanted to report that we continue to really enjoy some great partnerships with our other city departments. Renew has come out and done the storm and sanitary portions of the carousel project, and Waterworks will be on site to move our water line over there. And that really is a testament to how well our departments work together. And it certainly is a cost savings for the city and the citizens because we're not incurring that cost. So we're very appreciative of that as well. And then lastly, John's going to provide you with just an overall seasonal operations update and where we still have a need for some seasonal employees.
We are, the first part of our seasonal operations actually open today, the McAllister Summer Camp, which is now operating as a summer daycare camp. Today was the first day of operations. They've been preparing diligently for the last month and have really done a great job in a short period of time overhauling their operational procedures for that camp to meet the Tippecanoe County Health Department guidelines and CDC guidelines for operating, daycare during this the time of the pandemic. And that started today with 35 kids on site. That number will grow over the coming days and weeks, but it was a good number to start with today as, a lot of the returning counselors, I spoke to Chad a little bit earlier and he reported it was just getting used to what the new normal was going to be and the way that we're now conducting things. So that went fairly smoothly today, and I'm sure as more kids arrive for camp, it will continue to go smooth. Last week, we started preparing our aquatic facilities to open. We are scheduled to open Castaway Bay and Vinton Pool this Sunday, May 24th, depending upon the weather. So our aquatic management teams have been at all three aquatic facilities since last Monday, getting those facilities ready to go. And we're also working very diligently to implement our operating procedures to meet the CDC and Tippecanoe County Health Department guidelines for operating. Vinton and Castaway will open the season at 50% capacity for attendance. And that will be roughly 175 member bather capacity at Castaway Bay and roughly 125 bather capacity at Vinton Pool. So we're getting ready for that. We've instituted a lot of new procedures for our staff to keep them safe and also to make it a safe environment for our guests. Trucknew Cove is slated to open right now on June the 14th, and it will open at 50% capacity as well. And if everything stays on track, we will be able to open up to somewhat of a normal operation and normal capacity on July 4th. And that brings us to where we really are in need of some staff members. So one of the things that has the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted greatly are the number of available lifeguards to work. So there is an industry-wide shortage, and that came about because the large majority of lifeguard classes that were scheduled to happen in April and May were canceled due to the pandemic. So right now we are about 35 lifeguards short of where we anticipated we would be headed into the season. So we are still looking for lifeguards that are already certified. We do have a lifeguard class that we will be conducting the weekend of May 29th. And the Lafayette YMCA has very graciously permitted us use of their pool facility that weekend to conduct that course. That course is full at this point in time. And if the need arises, if we get some young people who are interested in becoming lifeguards, but need a certification, then we will work with the Y to see if maybe we could host additional classes at the YMCA. So we are still in need of lifeguards at this point in time.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for John and seasonal operations, where we're at? Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, Claudia, sorry. Do you guys anticipate any issues with the lower capacity? Is there sort of I'm really getting at the public relations aspects of that and how those crowds are going to be managed. I'm sure you have a plan, but how's that going to work?
Well, sure. We've had numerous discussions with regards to this, and I mean, for weeks and weeks and weeks, we've kind of planned accordingly. So being able to manage all aspects of that and still be able to deliver a quality experience has been our focus really since this pandemic started, and we knew where this was headed. So John has sat in on several online discussions and worked with industry partners to really have a clear understanding of what to expect. And that's really been driving how his team members have been prepping. So John, I'm not sure, do you want to give some of the very basic highlights of what you guys have been doing in anticipation?
Sure. So in terms of managing the crowd, we will be keeping track of our capacity at the gates as people are coming into the gates. When we reach capacity, with the 50% capacity, we will stop taking admission at that point in time. When groups of people leave or individuals leave, then we will be able to allow in the same number of individuals to stay underneath that capacity. One of the things that we're doing in June at Tropcanoe Cove in order to help with that is we are going to delay the holding of our family nights at this point in time until after July the 4th. On Wednesday evenings. Those are generally some of our busier evenings. And certainly we want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible. So we are going to not hold those in June when we're at only 50% capacity. We would anticipate, unfortunately, maybe having to turn some folks away on those evenings. So we're going to delay the start of those as well. It will give us an opportunity for our staff to get into their groove, so to speak, in terms of operation and all the different cleaning and disinfecting that we're going to have to do. We are instituting such things to help with social distancing, such as tape on our slide towers, 6 feet apart. We have purchased a system called a Wi-Fi wash system. It's essentially a chlorine spray gun. You hook it up to a nozzle and you put chlorine tablets in it, and you can disinfect. That system is, it kills the virus on contact, according to what we've seen. So we have the ability we'll have the ability at the end of the night to go through and disinfect things fairly quickly. And we're instituting some different procedures at all those pools, such as, what are we going to do with our deck chairs? So we're going to use Vinton and Castaway as kind of a trial run and see if maybe we can't set up a system where guests coming into the pool can check out deck chairs. And then once they're done using them, we can retrieve them from the deck to disinfect them before they're used again. So we want to see how that works and exactly what that all entails from a staff perspective before we open Tropcanoe Cove, and maybe have to try to do that on a larger scale. So we're still looking at a couple different options there, but we certainly have a plan in place to disinfect and clean commonly touched surfaces at frequent and regular intervals, including all bathroom fixtures, We're aiming for every 20 minutes there to go through the bathrooms and hit those high touch areas. Our tubes, our mats, those are all things that we're looking to disinfect at a very frequent and high rate after uses. So we have a lot of things that we're instituting. We have a good plan going forward, and we think it will we'll be able to provide as Claudine said, a high quality experience as safely as possible and as efficiently and effectively as possible. And we're excited to get going. Our staff's working very hard to implement that. We will have, for example, at the Cove, all of our concession employees will wear face masks, as will our cash office folks. Those are areas sometimes where it may be tough to keep social distancing while they're working. On duty lifeguards and on deck aquatic staff that may have to interact with the water on a quick basis will not be permitted to wear masks because of the drowning hazard. Our patrons will not be permitted to wear masks in the water. Obviously, it's a drowning hazard. We will permit patrons to wear those masks on deck at this time. But there are just a lot of different parts and thought that we've put into this. And like I said, we feel we have a good plan and can deliver a quality experience for a family very safely.
That was great, John. Thank you.
Okay, and that's going to conclude my report for today.
Okay, thank you very much for that report, Claudine and John. Appreciate keeping us up to date. Next thing is declaration of surplus property, which is attachment A. I will need a motion for that, please.
Matt, for your information, this is Maury's favorite part of the meeting. Any kind of surplus property, it really fires him up. So we need to discuss this for about 5 minutes to really get Maury going. But I make a motion to declare the Linwood playground equipment as surplus.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dave. I was hoping that somebody would wake up to say it first because I know that's usually been my job. Claudine or John, do we need any discussion on this? It's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward. This is the old playground from Linwood Park. It has already been removed by our facilities and ground staff in preparation to install a new playground at that park, and this just allows us to dispose of the old playground.
And any further discussion on this important topic? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Then John.
Ms. Corey?
Aye.
Mr. Mecklenburg?
Aye.
Mr. Metzger?
Aye.
Mr. Denny?
Aye. Okay, that brings us to communication from the board. Any communications from the board today? The only thing that I would have would be probably for Matt and for Pat. And if you haven't sent that Loeb RFPs to Matt, we probably need to get those to him. So he has those. Dave,
Yeah, Mr. Denny, I sent those right before the meeting.
okay, good.
Seeing him on the screen, I was reminded that I had not sent those yet to Matt, so he should have them now.
Good.
I did receive them.
Just to let Pat and Matt know, we'll be having a meeting. That would be the committee that Dave and I are both on. That meeting is going to be on sometime the week of June 1st, and we're supposed to be coming up with questions that we will submit. So if you have any questions after looking through the RFP, if you will send either Dave or myself, of course, we'll end up voting on it, but it might be good to get those questions out there. Be also questions that we will ask the people when we meet with the two groups in person. So please, if you have any, don't be bashful. Get those questions to either Dave or myself, and we'll see that they're put in into the group of questions that we want to have covered when we meet with the two individual groups.
Thanks, Maury.
So that, of course, any further discussion on that from, I know, Matt, you were on that committee for a while, but unfortunately we can only have 2 board members on it, or we'd have to have a board meeting. So anyway.
Yeah, no questions. I will take a look and get any questions from those I have over to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, public, I don't think we probably have.
here.
Yeah, my wife said she could talk. Written communications, John?
There were no written communications.
No written communications? Well, we're ready to adjourn this meeting then. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second,
All those,
second,
oh, John, roll call?
Miss Corey,
aye.
Mr. Mecklenburg,
Aye.
Mr. Metzger,
Aye.
and Mr. Denny.
Aye.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Great. How are we handling when we have to sign things? I sort of thought about that too late for